If you're thinking about moving to the west side of LA, I actually think one weekend can tell you a lot. But you have to spend that weekend the right way. Because if you come here and treat it like a vacation, you're gonna get vacation answers. You'll go to the beach, have a cute dinner, walk around when the weather is perfect, maybe grab coffee somewhere adorable, and by Sunday, you're like, wait, do I live here now? Which honestly, I understand. LA is very persuasive when the sun is out and the oat milk latte is good. But that is not the same thing as figuring out where you should buy a home. If you're seriously thinking about moving to the west side, you have to look at each area like someone who may actually live there. Where would you park? Where would you get groceries? How far are you from the places you would go every week? Does the neighborhood still feel good when you're not in vacation mode? And maybe the biggest question, what kind of home does your budget actually get you there? That's what this video is about. I'm going to walk you through how I would spend a weekend exploring the west side if you were trying to decide between places like Santa Monica, Venice, Marina del Rey, Playa Vista, and Culver City. Not as a tourist itinerary. More like, okay, let's see what your actual life could feel like here. Because the area that looks the best online is not always the one that makes the most sense once you're living your normal life. And sometimes the neighborhood you were not expecting to love ends up being the one that fits you best. If you're already looking at the west side, comment which area you keep coming back to. I'm always curious whether people start with Santa Monica, Venice, Playa Vista, Culver City, Marina del Rey, or somewhere nearby. Okay, first thing, please do not judge any neighborhood only from the prettiest block. That's how LA gets you. You have one great brunch, parking somehow works out perfectly, the street looks cute, the weather is doing its little California thing, and suddenly your brain starts writing an entire future. Very relatable. But before you let one good afternoon make the decision for you, walk around like a person who is going to live there on a random Tuesday. Look at the side streets. Notice where the grocery stores are. Pay attention to how parking feels. See what the homes actually look like away from the most polished areas. Ask yourself whether you would use the restaurants, the beach, the parks, or the amenities often enough to pay a premium for them. That's the difference between visiting a neighborhood and understanding it. So if I were planning the weekend, I would probably start Friday evening in Culver City. And I know that may not be the first place people expect. A lot of buyers come in thinking, I want beach, I want ocean, I want that classic LA feeling. We'll get there. But I like starting in Culver City because it gives you a really good baseline for practical West Side living. Go to dinner, walk around downtown Culver City, spend a little time near the Culver Steps, maybe pass by the Culver Hotel area. Just get a feel for what it's like when people are actually out using the neighborhood. And while you're there, don't only focus on whether it's fun. Ask yourself if it feels easy. Was parking annoying? Could you see yourself meeting someone for dinner here after work? Does the area feel connected to the rest of your life? Would errands be manageable? Do you feel like you could build a real routine here? That's where Culver City starts to make sense for a lot of people. It may not be the beach fantasy, but it can be very functional. Restaurants are close. You have entertainment. You have access to different parts of LA. The area can feel active without making your entire life revolve around the coast. And for some buyers, that's actually the better fit. Because being close to the beach is amazing if you really use it. But if most of your week is work, errands, dinner plans, appointments, and trying to get across LA without losing your mind, then convenience starts to matter a lot more. That's why I'd start there. It gives you something grounded to compare everything else against. Now, Saturday morning, I would go to Santa Monica. This is the version of the Westside a lot of people picture first. The ocean is nearby. There are walkable pockets. You've got restaurants, shopping, coffee, fitness, outdoor space, and that very specific coastal LA feeling. It makes sense that buyers are drawn to it. But when you're there, I want you to do more than just enjoy the beach. Walk through an area where you would actually consider living. Look at the condo buildings. Pay attention to the streets. Notice where people park. Go a few blocks away from the most obvious spots and see if you still like the feel of it. Because Santa Monica can be wonderful, but you need to understand what you're trading for that lifestyle. Depending on your budget, you may be looking at a smaller space than you expected. A condo may be more realistic than a single family home. The HOA could be a bigger part of your monthly payment. Parking might matter more than you thought. Some buildings may be older, which is not automatically a bad thing, but it is something to understand. So while you're there, ask yourself a very honest question. Do I just like being near the beach? Or do I actually want my daily life built around it? Those are different. If you're going to walk by the water all the time, meet friends nearby, spend weekends outside, and really use the location, then the premium may make total sense. But if the beach is more of an occasional bonus, Santa Monica may still be lovely, but it may not be the best use of your budget. That's the kind of clarity you want from the weekend. Not, do I like Santa Monica? Most people like Santa Monica. The better question is, does the version of the home I can buy here match the lifestyle I want? After Santa Monica, I'd go to Venice. And Venice needs its own visit because it is not just Santa Monica with a different outfit. Venice has a very different personality. It can feel creative, stylish, energetic, a little unpredictable, and very different depending on the exact block. Some people love that immediately. Other people visit and realize, this is cool, but I don't know if I want this as my everyday life. Both reactions are useful. That's the whole point of seeing it in person. If you go to Venice, do not make the decision from one restaurant, one pretty street, or one listing that has the exact aesthetic you saved on Pinterest. Look closer. How does parking feel? What are the side streets like? Does the energy make you feel excited, or does it feel like a lot? What kind of property are you actually seeing in your budget? Does the area feel like somewhere you'd want to come home to, not just somewhere you'd want to hang out? Venice is one of those places where the exact pocket matters a lot. That's not a bad thing. It just means you need more context before you decide. The character is part of the appeal, but you have to know whether that character works with your actual routine. Because there is a big difference between I love spending time here and I want to live here every day. Saturday afternoon, I'd make time for Marina del Rey. This gives you another version of coastal Westside living. It's still connected to the water, but it has a different feel from Santa Monica and Venice. For some buyers, Marina del Rey is appealing because of the condo options, the amenities, the marina lifestyle, and the access to nearby Westside areas. If you're considering it, walk near the water, look at the buildings, and pay attention to what ownership might actually look like there. A lot of the conversation may come down to the building, HOA dues, parking, amenities, rules, monthly costs, how the property lives day to day. A great view can pull you in fast. So can a beautiful lobby, a pool, a gym, or an amenity package that sounds amazing. But before you get too excited, ask whether you would use those things enough to make the monthly cost feel worth it. Because paying for amenities you love can make sense. Paying for amenities you forget exist gets annoying very quickly. Marina del Rey can be a great fit when the water, building lifestyle, and convenience line up with what you want. Just make sure you're not only reacting to the scenery, you're buying the whole setup. Now, for Saturday evening, I would not try to cram in another brand new area. That's usually when people start getting overwhelmed. Instead, go back to the place that made the strongest impression earlier in the day. Maybe that's Santa Monica. Maybe it's Venice. Maybe Marina del Rey surprised you. Whatever it is, see it again at a different time. Neighborhoods can feel completely different in the evening. Parking may change. The energy may shift. Restaurants get busier. Some streets feel better at night and others feel less like what you expected. You do not need to make a final decision from that one night. But a second look can tell you a lot. Sometimes you go back and that area still feels good. Other times you realize the first visit was doing a little too much emotional heavy lifting. That is helpful. You want to know that before you start writing offers. Now let's talk about Sunday. I would start Sunday in Playa Vista. And this is going to feel very different from the coastal areas. That's exactly why I would include it. Playa Vista is more planned. It feels newer. The layout is easier to understand. You may see parks, restaurants, fitness options, errands, amenities, and homes that feel more modern compared with some older Westside inventory. For some buyers, that's a huge relief, especially if you're relocating to LA and everything already feels a little overwhelming. Playa Vista can feel like, okay, I understand how life works here. That can be very appealing. But it's not going to be everyone's version of LA if you want older character, more edge, or a stronger coastal identity. Playa Vista may feel too structured. That's not a flaw. It's just a fit question. So when you're there, notice your own reaction. Does the convenience make you feel calmer? Do the amenities feel useful? Would you actually enjoy the planned feel? Or are you craving something with more texture? Be honest about that. There's no correct answer. The whole reason you're visiting different areas is to figure out which one feels right to you, not which one sounds best on paper. After Playa Vista, I would use Sunday afternoon for either Culver City again or a quick pass through West LA, depending on what you're still unsure about. If Culver City felt good on Friday night, go back during the day. You'll see a different side of it. The residential streets are easier to read. Errands are more obvious. Parking feels different in daylight. You can get a better sense of the housing mix. This is also when Culver City may start to click for people. After seeing the coastal trade-offs, the planned feel of Playa Vista and the personality of Venice, a practical area with restaurants, access, and daily convenience, may start to feel very appealing. Not because it's trying to be the flashiest option, because it may make your actual week easier. And honestly, that matters more than people think. Now, while you're doing this whole weekend, I want you to pay attention to the homes, not just the neighborhoods, because liking an area is only half of the decision. You also have to like what you can buy there. In Santa Monica, maybe your budget points you toward condos or older buildings. In Venice, the home may have a lot of personality, but the exact street and parking setup matter. Marina del Rey might give you more of a building and amenity lifestyle. Playa Vista may feel newer and more convenient. Culver City can offer a mix of condos, townhomes, and single-family homes, depending on budget and timing. None of these are automatically better, but they are different. And that difference matters because the home has to support your life too. A neighborhood can be perfect in theory, but if every home in your budget feels wrong, the search gets frustrating. On the other hand, an area you did not expect to love may offer the layout, parking, and convenience that actually makes sense for you. That happens more often than people think. Now let's talk about parking. I know, very glamorous, But this is Los Angeles, so we have to talk about it. Pay attention to parking everywhere you go. At dinner, near residential streets, around coffee shops, by the beach, near condo buildings, at grocery stores. If you would have guests, think about where they would park too, because parking is one of those things that seems minor until it becomes part of your everyday life. A beautiful neighborhood can start to feel stressful if coming home is annoying every night. A slightly less exciting area may feel better because the logistics are easier. That's not the sexy part of real estate, but it is real life. And real life should be part of the decision. Commute is another thing I would test as much as you can. Do not only look at distance. LA distance is deeply unserious. Something can be 5 miles away and somehow feel like a cross-country journey depending on traffic. So think about the places you would actually go. Work, friends, restaurants, appointments, the airport, the gym, the beach, your weekly routine. Then ask whether the neighborhood helps that routine or makes it harder. A weekend will not show you every traffic pattern, but it can still teach you a lot about the geography. And if you're moving from another city, that context is really important. LA does not always behave the way people expect from a map. Now, by the end of the weekend, you may not know exactly where you want to buy. And that's okay. You're not trying to solve your entire life in 2 days. But you should have a much better sense of what matters. Maybe you realize you really do want the beach to be a part of your daily routine. Maybe Culver City surprises you because it feels more functional than you expected. Maybe Playa Vista feels like a relief. Maybe Venice is still exciting, but now you understand why the exact pocket matters. Maybe Marina del Rey makes sense if the building lifestyle and water proximity line up. Maybe Santa Monica is still the dream, but now you know what you may have to trade to live there. That's a successful weekend. The point is not to pick the neighborhood with the best reputation. It is to understand which area fits your real life. So here's how I would use the weekend. Friday night, start in Culver City and see how practical Westside living feels. Saturday morning, spend time in Santa Monica and look beyond the beach. After that, explore Venice with extra attention to the exact pocket and parking. Use part of the day for Marina del Rey if water proximity and amenities are on your list. Sunday morning, visit Playa Vista and see whether the convenience feels right. Before you leave, go back to whichever area surprised you most. That second look may tell you more than the first one. And the entire time, keep asking yourself one question. Would my real life work here? Not vacation life. Not fantasy life. Real life. Groceries, parking, work, traffic, dinner plans, errands, laundry, monthly payment, and whatever your normal week actually looks like. That's how you explore the West Side with a buyer's eye. You're not just looking for where you had the most fun. You're looking for the place that still makes sense after the weekend is over. So if you're planning a move to the West Side and trying to decide between Santa Monica, Venice, Playa Vista, Culver City, Marina del Rey, or nearby areas, reach out and we can talk through which neighborhood and property types actually fit your lifestyle, budget, and long-term goals. If you want more honest Los Angeles real estate and neighborhood guidance, subscribe to the channel. I'll keep breaking down what buyers need to understand before making a move here. And comment below which West Side area you would explore first. I'd love to know where your search is starting.